Welcome into the Gridiron Grind, Creed of Three, Jimmy G. It's the Dallas Cowboys and NFL podcast this week. It's the third episode of the Cowboys NFL pod. Jimmy rocking the Micah Parsons jersey in the background for this show. Cowboys dominating performance again. Did a little New York two-step, I guess.
Yeah.
The Giants and then the Jets.
There's one team left. We'll own that state.
It's true. Do we play Buffalo this year?
In the Super Bowl, we will.
Okay. All right. I like your thinking. Dominating defense of performance by the Cowboys. Again, Jets had no chance. They did have one touchdown on a broken tackle. Nice play by Garrett Wilson. Other than that, they weren't doing nothing. Dak in the offense, we actually got to see a little bit of this Texas Coast offense. Very efficient. Got to say, very efficient. Dak was 31 of 38 passing, I think 255 yards and 2 touchdowns. Very, very efficient. I like it. Turnover-free football, although he did hit Sauce Gardner for the Jets right in the chest, and he dropped it. But other than that, defense looks good. Offense efficient. Took care of the football. Big-time win. 2-0 to start the season.
Yeah, and it kind of feels weird, like we've been talking about after game one. You know, it feels weird because we're so used to, ever since Kellen Moore got to town, lighting up the scoreboard, right? We're scoring 30, 40, sometimes 50 points. And now we're just kind of game managing it. We won 40-0, but our defense had 2 scores, and now we won 30-10. But I'm fine with it. Like you said, turnover-free football. That works to me. Hey, the result, as long as we get a win, you ask any of the players or the coaches, they're like, yeah, I don't care if we win 1-0. Figure out how we could win 1-0 and they'll take it,
Absolutely.
So I like it. And the defense, like I said, we may have a Super Bowl caliber defense like those 2 teams we mentioned have in the past, and all the offenses had to do is not turn the ball over. And if we're that team, okay, perfect. It's fine with me. As long as we get a ring, nobody's going to care. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
I love it. I love how dominant we are on defense. I love our depth at the defensive line. Linebackers are playing good. And then, of course, Micah, all world. So, love it. Love the direction we're going.
The good thing and kind of a disappointing thing, I shouldn't say disappointing, but and I hopefully I just didn't just jinx the Cowboys, but what I'm trying to say is we got another week of, the Cardinals could be the worst team in the league. We're not going to really get to test our mettle for a couple weeks. We got the Cardinals, then we host the Patriots, but then we got Sunday night game against the 49ers, and that's when it gets real. So I guess take care of business, and then our time will come to, to test our mettle against the top teams in the NFC. But I thought McCarthy calling plays again. I thought he did a great job. Plays were in quick. Like I said, Dak was efficient. People did have in our postgame show raise these concerns about the red zone. We had 6 trips to the red zone, Jimmy. Only 2 touchdowns and 4 field goals. I mean, that could be a concern going forward. But also, the way I look at that is we had 6 trips to the red zone.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and coming away with points is the lesser of 2 evils. In those scenarios, you'd love touchdowns, but what you can't have is turnovers in the red zone. Show me the team that leads turnovers in the red zones. I can usually show you a team that's not winning very many games. So I'll take the points. Like you said, I'd love touchdowns because then we're just blowing teams out of the water and it's not even close, and still 3-score victory. But yeah, I think it's cause for concern. I say cause for, it's something to note. It's something we're going to have to fix. And McCarthy, we're going to have to execute better. And McCarthy's going to have to call better plays in the red zone. But right now it hasn't bit us. And like I said, the defense is able to make up for it and keep us in a position where we can settle for field goals and still win the ball game comfortably.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We got the Cardinals, like we said this week. Quarterback Josh Dobbs was not sacked last week against the Giants. I have a feeling that will not be the case this week against the Cowboys. Again, the Cowboys defense is off to a hot start. How many have they got? 5 takeaways already through 2 games and
Yeah.
double-digit sacks already. So Dobbs was sacked in the opener 3 times, 0 last week. I just don't see a scenario where it's just not our defense doesn't dominate. Cardinals got nothing on offense. They did have a big lead on the Giants, but they let the Giants come back and win. I mean, this is in Arizona. I think it's 12 or 13-point favorite for the Cowboys. I hope it's what it's supposed to be. A blowout,
Yeah.
worry-free football.
Yeah, I hope it's something like 42-7, 45-3, just something where we just dominate. This is what we need to do. We talk about this time and time again. When you're supposed to be one of these dominant teams, it's easier to do in college because these are all professionals, right? Nobody's here by accident. But even in the NFL, sometimes you get a team that's just so much better than the other one. You should look dominant and you should just crush them. And so I'm hoping that's what happens on Sunday as well. And also, Cardinals I think are trying to play for that number 1 overall pick, so they may not be too keen
Absolutely.
on trying to win this game.
We get to questions of the week. We got a question about that. So, yeah, I don't know how well the Cardinals are really even trying to win the game. It could be the best team in the league against the worst team in the league. Sunday, 325. Let's take a minute to go around the NFL. If you're watching Monday night, the gruesome Nick Chubb injury. I had forgot about this. He had the same injury in
Yeah.
college. And the fact he was able to come back and be as productive as he's been. But this, do it twice, that could be career ending. That was a terrible, terrible look.
And the one in college looked bad, but this one looked
Ooh.
way worse. That one in college, man, I remember watching the game and he
Yep.
just looked like he was just going out of bounds and it happened real quick. And then like he didn't get up and they showed it. And I went, oh no, flamingo knee.
Mm.
And then that one on Monday was just, I just said, yikes. That was
Yes.
not good.
Fantasy
Oof.
football owners devastated. Nick Chubb was one of the top running backs. He was first, second rounder in fantasy leagues. So RIP to your season if you had Nick Chubb in the first round. Joe Burrow struggles, man. He is struggling. Bengals are 0-2. They were my pick to win the Super Bowl. I had the Bengals over the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Not feeling great about that. Joe Burrow's 57% on the season. He's only averaging 152 yards a game. He has 2 touchdowns and 1 interception in 2 games. Just not the Joe Burrow we have been accustomed to seeing the last couple of years. And as of right now, he's questionable. Uncertain whether he's going to play Monday night against the Rams. And, I mean, you start 0-3, it's going to be tough to make the playoff. This is a team that's made the AFC Championship 2 years in a row, made the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Back-to-back AFC Championships. If they start 0-3, whew, I don't know how you dig yourself out of that hole.
Yeah. I mean, they've got the firepower to do it. Offensively, we know the weapons, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, right? That they've got Joe Mixon. Like I said, we know the weapons they've got on offense. Joe Burrow, we know what he can do. He's just not doing it. I don't know. And he might be one of those cases, where he's more hurt than he's letting
Maybe so.
on or than the Bengals are being let on. Like this calf may be causing him more grief than what we know. But yeah, he does not look like Broadway Joe.
No, he doesn't. He definitely does not. So, yeah, Bengals, tough one. Monday night against the Rams. See if Joe Burrow plays. Justin Fields, I found this just hilarious. He had his press conference this week, and somebody asked something about it. It seems like you're off or something, and he said, "Yeah, I'm kind of have playing like a robot, my robotic play." And they said, "Why do you think that is?" And he said, "I don't know. Maybe it's the coaching. Could be poor coaching." And that's his comment. He's gonna blame his poor play on coaching. Interesting route. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback take that route when talking about his poor performance on the field.
Yeah, bold strategy, Cotton. Let's
Bold
see if he takes it
strategy.
off. Like, of course, he's probably a little fed up too, because you remember his first 2 years in the league, his coach was just blaming him and just, he's a
Yep.
rookie quarterback and just coach really just crapping all over him. He gets a new coach, and he seemingly last year's doing pretty good. And Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if blaming the coaches because coaches aren't out there throwing passes. Like I've said, it doesn't matter what you got around you. Bengals, like I said, Chase, Boyd, and Higgins. Doesn't matter who you got out there if the guy getting them the football isn't holding up his end, and that's kind of the Bears, and it's what we're seeing. Yeah, blaming the coaching's kind of that's a
Different.
bold move. Now you got to put up or shut up.
It's a different strategy. I don't know who the backup is in Chicago, but I'd make sure that shoulder's loose and ready to go.
Yeah,
Also,
put an icy hot patch on it. Get ready to
Bears
go.
defensive coordinator Alan Williams, he resigned earlier in the week, and then we quickly found out why he resigned. Some off the field,
Yeah, what a creep.
what a creep. I mean, he's creepy. So he's gone. New DC for the Bears this week. It is I mean, there is going to be quite the competition for worst team in the league this year. I thought the Cardinals had it on lock, but the Bears are making a run at it. And maybe the Broncos, the way Russell Wilson's playing, a couple 0-2 teams. I don't know. It's going to be competitive to be who gets to be the worst team in the league this year.
Well, at least the Bears don't have to go play high-powered offense this week, so they can kind of ease the new DC on into his role. The interim DC. Let me check. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. They play the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. Talk about baptism by fire. You got to go play Patrick Mahomes, who's got to be frustrated with his play. You're going to get Travis Kelce at 100%. That Chiefs team, to me, is a volcano waiting to erupt. They know they're better than they've been doing, and this may be the week that they just explode, and we see that Chiefs offense look like it's looked in the past. So, good job, Bears. Good job.
Good job, Bears. So 2 weeks into the NFL season, basically not much has changed as far as teams, except for the only Bengals. That's a little shocking, their performance. But like we said in the NFC, it's the Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles. That still looks to be the case. The Chiefs might not be as good as we initially thought. So the AFC could be a little bit more wide open, especially since Aaron Rodgers is down. But something tells me the Chiefs will find a way to get hot at the right time as they usually do. Let's go to our next segment, questions of the week. Get your questions in. You can go to gridirongrindsports.com, leave a question in the comments here on YouTube. Also, check out any of our social media pages, Twitter, X, and Instagram. You can email us. Our email is on our website, gridirongrindsports.com. Get questions in. We'll pick the best ones and address them each of our 2 podcasts we do during the week. This one, Jimmy, is from Craig from Fort Smith, Arkansas, and it's talking about kind of what we addressed earlier about the worst team in the league. Who do y'all think will win the Caleb Williams sweepstakes between the Broncos, Bears, and Cardinals? So I guess he's basically saying foregone conclusion that 1, Caleb Williams is going to be the number 1 draft pick, and number 2, one of these guys would be willing to take him, which I think so. The Broncos, you finish last, you're saying you're getting rid of Russell Wilson. The Bears obviously going to get rid of Justin Fields, and the Cardinals, absolutely, they need help from it. They need a lot of help. So, yeah. Jimmy, who's winning the Caleb Williams sweepstakes?
I think the Cardinals. Cardinals, I think they've already swallowed the pill to tank. There's already rumors floating around about it. We're only 2 games into the season. I think the Cardinals are in the best position to do that because the Broncos still have Russell Wilson. Good luck probably getting that guy to tank, so that guy's going to be competitive.
Right.
Justin Fields, we know what kind of talent he has. Cardinals are playing with a backup quarterback, and just hit or miss on offense. And so I think the Cardinals are in the best position to be the worst team in the league. So, Craig, I think the Cardinals, to answer your question, I think the Cardinals are the front runner, got to be the front runner and the favorite to win the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. And then, Caleb Williams, heck, he might go back to USC. Maybe he don't want to be a Cardinal.
I would heavily consider it. I agree with
Matt
you.
Leinart, remember Leinart came back? Leinart came back because he didn't want to be who
was
blank.
it? I forgot, but because he ended up getting drafted by the Cardinals.
Yeah, he got drafted by the Cardinals, but it was
Was
I
it the
forget who it was.
Jaguars?
Somebody, because that's when Matt Castle declared for the draft, was because Matt Leinart
Oh,
decided
that's
to come
right.
back. So it happens.
That
These
is
big
true.
time players.
I mean,
Matt Leinart was coming off a Heisman,
Eli
and
Manning. Eli Manning didn't want to play for the Chargers.
yeah,
Of course, he got drafted
so
by him, and he demanded a trade immediately. Yeah, I agree
yeah,
with you. The Cardinals are definitely probably set up best to. We could have a winless team this year. I'm gonna watch a little bit more of them this week against the Cowboys. But the Broncos, like you said, they got Russell Wilson at quarterback, and Sean Payton's too competitive. They're going to find a way to win a few games. I just don't think it's in his nature to not be competitive. The Bears, I don't know. I could see the Bears. I could see it all falling off the rails for the Bears too. And Fields is
yeah. I mean,
decently talented, but man, I could just see it falling off. The Bears
especially
and
when you got
Cardinals,
the quarterback blaming the coach.
exactly. I just think both the Bears and Cardinals are not good situations. The Cardinals is probably in a worse situation. Let me ask you this. You're the GM of the Arizona Cardinals, and let's say you go 0-17. Actually, this would be the first time we've only had 0-16 teams before. Never had an 0-17 team. Let's say you're the GM of the Cardinals. First 0-17 team in the history of the NFL. You get the
Mhm.
number one overall pick. Would you take Caleb Williams, or are you trading because you need? I mean, Cardinals need so much.
Depends on what you can. I texted you.
You could get
Draft day is
5
fun.
starters. If you could get, you think you could get 4 or 5 starters for the number one pick?
If you had a crystal ball and could do
Now,
that,
when
I think
I say 4 or
any
5
coach would
starters,
do that.
obviously a couple of those are going to be like high level draft picks.
Yeah.
So you're going to flip ones. You're probably going to get a one the next 2 years of ones, and then if you could throw in like a second rounder and a big time player, would you do
I
it?
mean, I think
Or would you take
everything
Caleb
would be.
Wilson or Caleb Williams because you need the quarterback more than anything?
I don't know. They did that with Murray already, and
Yeah,
they went out and tried to get him. They draft Christian Kirk. They go get AJ Green. They bring in Zach Ertz. I mean, and still had Fitzgerald. They trade for James Conner. I mean, they tried to put as much as they could around Murray. I don't know. If I'm the GM, all offers are entertained, right? Anything. Jerry, I think, would trade Dak tomorrow if the offer was correct. You know what I mean? And
probably.
it's gonna be worth it. And so I think they need a lot more than, like we were saying, a lot more than a quarterback. So if I was them, I'd be seriously entertaining grabbing a bunch of draft picks. Like I said, draft day was on. I texted you about it, and that
Yep.
movie. Again, it's not a documentary, right? It's a movie, but there's some realness to that. The whole gathering picks and let's move down, and you see it every year, and more so. It's, oh, we're right here. We're going to get this guy. Oh no, way, a trade's in. Somebody's trading down and trading up, and this and that, trading back into the first round, and so yeah, if I'm the GM, I'm entertaining everything. Now, I mean, end of the day, Caleb Williams, I think, is going to sell a lot of jerseys. I think Caleb Williams probably I think he's going to be a pretty good pro.
I did too.
So
He's talented. He's so
if
good.
you can't get anything you like, I think you take him.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably right. All right. Thanks for the question, Craig from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Again, questions of the week. Get your questions in, and we'll get to them again next week. Pick the best ones every week. College football pod on Wednesdays, and then of course Dallas Cowboys and NFL pod coming out on Thursday. Final segment of the show. Let's get to our bets. Week 3 bets. I had a solid week. Jimmy, after a hot start, had a disappointing week last week.
Yeah.
I was 2-1 last week. Jimmy 1-3. On the season, I'm 5-2. Jimmy 4-4. Still early. Still at 500 or above. So still looking good. I got 3 bets for you this week on the NFL, all Sunday games. And I guess I'll go first. I got my first 2 bets from the same game. I like the Titans plus 3.5, and then the Titans Browns under 39.5. Interesting stat. Mike Vrabel has a winning record when he's an underdog. You don't see that much. Obviously, you're not favored to win. But as an underdog, Mike Vrabel actually has a winning record. Tennessee has had a top 10 defense every year under Vrabel, and that looks like that's going to continue this year. Very good defense there in Tennessee. The Browns defense has yet to allow an opposing offense to run a play inside the red zone. An opposing team hadn't even run a play in the red zone. The Browns D has been the best in the league this year, and they only allow touchdowns when their offense has turned it over. It happened to them twice Monday night, allowing 2 touchdowns last week against Pittsburgh. Then you factor in the Nick Chubb injury. Gonna have a drop off in the run game. The Ford guy, he looked pretty good, but he's, if he was Nick Chubb, he'd be somewhere. So I think there's going to be a bit of a drop off there in the run game. Quarterback Deshaun Watson, he struggled. He struggled Monday night. I think if it's all on his shoulders, I love that under, and I love Tennessee. Both offenses are at the bottom of the league in tempo, which means low scoring. So that's why I like the Titans plus 3.5, and then the Titan Browns under 39.5.
I like it. I like that one. I almost took that. I might take that one, but that one really intrigued me. Mine, I've got one as well with 2 bets in the same game. Packers Saints. Give me Packers -2 and give me the under 42.5. The Saints have got injury bugs kind of biting the defense, and they hadn't looked that impressive offensively. The Packers, surprisingly, I hope it's not the case because I can't stand those guys. Jordan Love's looked pretty good, man.
Yes.
Jordan Love's pretty good. So Packers -2, I'll take it. I don't think the Saints will be able to score enough to cover that, keep that close. So give me the under. Packers -2, under 42.5.
I love that. I love the Packers pick. It was on my short list. I'm just not impressed with the Saints, and I've never been impressed with Derek Carr. So, and I definitely wasn't impressed with him Monday night, barely squeaking out a win against the Panthers. I love that bet. Love that bet. I really love the Packers one. My third game, Cowboys Cardinals under 43. I like the under 43. Cowboys have only allowed 1 touchdown and 1 explosive play, which came on the same play, that long touchdown to Garrett Wilson last week. There's a broken tackle there. So other than that one play, the Cowboys just have not allowed anything on offense. I don't know if the Cardinals are even going to score. When I think of this game, I envision week 1 against the Giants, and the Giants didn't score. That's kind of how I see this one playing out. The Cowboys got to 40 that week because there was 2 defensive touchdowns, or a special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown. So I don't know if they're going to have that happen again. And 43 is a lot if the Cardinals don't score. And I don't know if the Cardinals are going to score. So I just envisioned the week 1 game against the Giants, and that's why I love Cowboys Cardinals under 43.
Yeah, I agree with that one, Trey, because we've seen this Tex Coast offense. If we get up 3 scores, we're just going to start running. It's going to be
another reason, yeah.
Get out of here. And so, yeah, I think that's a great bet. For my third and final one as well, we each have 3 this week. Chargers and Vikings to pick them right now. I'm going Chargers pick them.
Yep.
Chargers are averaging 30 points a game, but yet have not seen it turn over. And I almost took the over in this one, but I'm taking Chargers pick them. Minnesota. Okay, they just traded for Cam Akers from the Rams. But Minnesota loses starting tackle. They don't have any depth on the O-line. To me, that's going to be trouble for that backfield and for Kirk Cousins. And that's why I think the Chargers offense is going to do what it does. It's going to be explosive. Eckler's still questionable, may not play. If he plays, I think it only adds to it. I think without them, the Chargers will pick this up, and especially at a pick 'em, just need them to win by 1. So give me Chargers, Vikings. Give me Chargers at pick 'em.
I like that. I mean, both teams just find ways to lose. The stats were so lopsided in the Chargers' favor last week against who was it they played? The Titans. They played the Titans. Derrick Henry didn't even have 100 yards. The Chargers threw for like 350 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
and Derrick Henry
Still
didn't even
lost.
rush for 100, and they still found a way to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I'm with you though. The Vikings, we knew they were frauds last year. They were just frauds. Just
yeah, and I thought maybe there's a little hope with them this year. There's not. They
there's
still
not.
no.
That one seems to be a Lions Packers battle. Lions dropped one to the
Yeah.
Seahawks last week, and now they host the undefeated Falcons. Shocker.
Yeah.
Falcons are 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Lions are real deal. And then, of course, Jordan Love's a lot better than we both anticipated
And hoped. Yeah.
and hope. I would love for the Packers to have, a good 10-year run of just mediocrity.
5-7. Love it.
No fan base deserves it more than the Packers. I mean, they've just been
Yeah.
so lucky with Favre and Rodgers for 30 years?
Yeah, maybe the Patriots, they're right up there with them. They could go 5-7 every year, and I'd be fine with that.
That's true. What was it? I mean, the Patriots, ever since Tom Brady left,
Yeah.
have they made the playoffs or they made it once?
I think once.
Maybe the year after him?
Yeah.
They
But I'm
made
like,
the playoffs, and then they didn't make it in last year. They didn't make it last year. They made it in 20. They didn't make it in 21 or 22. Okay. Yeah. I
I'd
wouldn't
be
mind the
fine.
Patriots. Wouldn't mind the Patriots, Eagles, Steelers, Packers. They all just went
49ers.
49ers, all just went on a 10-year run of mediocrity.
Yeah, pretty much just everyone but us.
Yeah. We'd let the Lions and Jaguars have some fun. They've been at the bottom for a while. Even the
We'll beat the
Browns.
Jaguars. Maybe we'll let the Lions get the NFC Championship game. We'll beat them.
Yeah.
To go play the Jaguars the Super Bowl, then we'll beat them. That'd be fine. I'd be okay with that.
I can handle that. That. I'm just every time we're good lately, Cowboys, every time we're good, the Eagles are good too.
I know. I want to be good without them.
Maybe we'll beat them this year. We'll see. It's gonna be tough. When do we play? We play them after the Niners. I know that. Niners are our first huge game. Cowboys got at the Cardinals, home against the Patriots, and then I believe it's home against the Niners Sunday night, October 8th. It's gonna be a fun one. So, all right, that's gonna do it.
49ers, Chargers, Rams, and then the Eagles. We go to Philly.
Okay. That's 4 solid games right there.
Yep. We got our West Coast run, then we go to Philly, and then we host the Giants, Panthers, host the Commanders, Seahawks, then the Eagles. We do play Buffalo. We go to Buffalo this year. I thought that was the case.
Oh, okay.
And then
hey, who do we play Thanksgiving this year?
Washington.
Okay.
Thanksgiving, Washington. Play Washington.
Okay.
I like that. Be a good conference Thanksgiving win.
Absolutely. We have division 3.5 division, Cowboys over 3.5 division wins. We're 1-0. I like where that one's headed. Even though, this division, NFC East, everybody's undefeated, and the Giants are 1-1.
Yeah.
Washington, Cowboys, Eagles, 2-0.
Maybe the Giants will mess around and beat the 49ers.
I'd love it Thursday night. Not a lot of hope for that, but I would love it.
Now Saquon's out. So
yeah. Daniel Jones is unfortunately playing.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is in.
He's in.
Saquon's out.
All right, recap of the bets. I have Titans plus 3.5, Titans Browns under 39.5, Cowboys Cardinals under 43. Jimmy's 3 bets, Packers -2, Packers Saints under 42.5, and Chargers pick 'em. So there you go. Let's make some money this week. I feel great about our college bets we put out on Wednesday. I'm feeling confident in these picks. I think we have a winning week on both podcasts.
I think so. I like this. I like these picks. Not a lot. There was a couple more. I kind of wanted to maybe dip my toe into Chiefs and Bears and Jets and Patriots, but I said, let's stay away from it. I don't want to get too many going. But
NFL is so hard too.
Yeah,
it's hard to have a winning record.
I like the Patriots and the under, and then I like the Chiefs. I liked the over in that game, but I just couldn't. I may take them when it comes time, but right now I wanted to hold off.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, that's going to do it for our Dallas Cowboys and NFL podcasts. Episode number 3 of the season in the books. Be sure and get over to gridirongrindsports.com. Check us out. Subscribe to our website. Get updates every time we release content. I have blogs running out through the week on Coffee with Krita. And then, of course, the video I put out with my Saturday only picks on Coffee with Krita every Saturday morning. Jimmy G's got his Jimmy G's Big 3. He posts that. That's up this week. 3 best college bets of the week. Of course, our college football podcast comes out on Wednesdays, Apple Podcasts, and our YouTube channel. And then this podcast, the Cowboys and NFL Pod, every Thursdays on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Thanks for joining us this week. Let's have a great weekend of watching football, and go Cowboys.
go Cowboys.